Psalms 51:7. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Psalms 51:7. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice.
Hide thy face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O YAHAWAH, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thy free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto thee. So I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, Ba'Shem, YAHAWASHI, the Buwanas of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and SHALAWAM to elect out there, doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. And this lesson will be entitled, Purge Me with Hyssop. Me pretty much getting into Psalms, the 51st chapter, in which so many brothers get into, but we're going to get into it, on a more in-depth reason of why, King David mentioned hyssop specifically, with this passage here, because, David, he was dealing with his transgressions in which he committed against the Most High, YAHAWAH, and he was truly sorrowful and repentful in doing those things, but he used, this hyssop for the specific reason of knowing the benefits of which hyssop has upon the body, which in turn infects your spirit, man, and which is known as a cleaning agent, even unto this day, and which was more so well known back then in ancient times. Like when we go back into the book of Exodus, okay, when we go back to the book of Exodus chapter 12, this is Exodus 12 and 22. I'll get straight to the point. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the two side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until morning. Okay, so what? He told, Israel, to dip, the hyssop and the blood and to strike the doors with it, man. In which we know that blood represents the blood of YAHAWASHI. That's why the scriptures say in the Hebrews 9:22, roughly paraphrasing, there's no redemption without bloodshed, and also too with that hyssop, because it was used as a cleaning agent, man. And this was well known, and dealing with the hyssop, you have the hyssop, you may have the herb, the leaf, or the oil, but specifically now, what I'm going to tap into is the oil, But King David, going back to the point, King David mentioning this hyssop in Psalms 51 is because he knew the therapeutic and the spiritual benefits of what hyssop actually does unto your physical body, which in turn affects your spirit, man. Matter of fact, another point too, when you go to the book of Numbers, because hyssop, was used for different references in the scriptures as well, okay? Overall as a cleaning agent, okay? So this is the book of Numbers, chapter 19, and I started verse 13. Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purifieth not himself, defileth the tabernacle of the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean, his uncleanness is yet upon him. This is the law when a man dieth in a tent. All that come into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which have no cleaning bound upon it is unclean. And whosoever toucheth one that is slain with the sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. For an unclean person shall take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification for sin, and running water shall be put thereto in a vessel. And a clean person, this is the point, and a clean person shall take hyssop, and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon all the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that touched a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave. Okay, so we see throughout the scriptures that hyssop was used for different purification purposes. In this instance, if somebody that touched a dead body or a grave or something of that effect, and also it was used in reference as far as cleaning a person that was a leper, or had leprosy. I forget the book, chapter, verse on that, but these were the different things in which hyssop was used for. Okay, so now I'm going to get into quite a bit of reading, so I can Baba Gashar bear with me on this, but this is just edification, and this is this first article is real brief. It's from Rebecca at thewell.org, and it reads, the title is Hyssop's Biblical Significance, Hyssop Bible Meaning. All right, I'm going to skip through it, and it says, the Hebrew, it says, the method of using hyssop oil, because that's what we're going to get in, that's what we're getting into, as I will put, in post-production in the beginning, show you brothers the hyssop oil, okay? The method of using hyssop oil inhaled or applied to the body to purge oneself from iniquity has scientific basis, so it's proven to work, but this is all through the Spirit of the Lord. Hyssop has constituents, okay, that can reprogram the DNA, where sinful tendencies, negative emotions are stored, thus releasing and cleansing the root cause of the action. Okay, because we have, spirits that attack us constantly, in this fight, in this walk within this truth, in which we're trying to, uphold ourselves as righteous as possible. When these spirits put that negative energy upon you, that actually affects your body on a physical note, which in turn affects your spirit, because we're trapped in these chains of darkness, so our spirit is truly not as it should be, to its complete state, as when, the angels that were of their first estate, or as we will be, in the kingdom to come, Lord's will, So now, since, sin entered the world, the Most High, YAHAWASHI have placed different things upon the earth, to cleanse us and to heal us. And this hyssop, specifically, as it said, it has the ability, to reprogram the DNA where sinful tendencies lie. So when these spirits, put negative energy upon us, it actually can affect our DNA, our bodily structures, man. Which causes your mind, to think negatively, or to go in a negative manner, and cause you to go off and sin against the Most High, or to sin against the brethren, man. Okay, so going on, this next article is from faithfuldroppers.com. Okay, and it gets into it says, the title is just a hyssop of the article, and it says, hyssop essential oil is mentioned 12 times in the scriptures of the Bible, making it a relevant oil for the time period. Distilled from the stems and leaves of the plant, the chemical makeup of hyssop gives us insight in how to use it in our everyday lives. Okay, and it gets into the constituents of what hyssop is comprised of. Right, so I'm going to read those. It says ketones, monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, and phenols. Okay, so it's 4 main constituents of it. It says ketones, 48%, help to detoxify the body, prepare receptor cells for the oils to be absorbed into the body. Monoterpenes, 30%, oxygenating capabilities, strong supporters of the immune system, promotes wellness at the cellular level by recoding the cellular memory and proper coding makes us open to disease and illness. So it's quinterpines, 8%. Deletes addictions and compulsions from DNA. And the phenols, which is 4%. And the phenols, that's just is responsible pretty much like for the fragrance of the different oils. Okay, so in this next article, I'm going to break all that down, but I'm going to get into that within the next article. Okay, so just keep in mind, you have the ketones, the monoterpines, and the sesquiterpines. Those are the top 3 that make it so powerful as far as, a cleansing us of the negative emotions, that negative vibe, the negative energy, which frees our spirit unto repentance, unto the Most High, YAHAWASHI. Okay, so get into this next article. It says, it's from rnoel.50megs.com. It says, the title is The Blood-Brain Barrier. Okay, and it says, it was thought for years that the interstitial tissues of the brain served as a barrier to keep damaging substances from reaching the neurons of the brain and the cerebrospinal fluid. Instead of a barrier, it would be more accurate to consider it as a sheath or filter through which only molecules of a certain size or smaller can pass. Okay, that's just like you have a filter for your water. You don't want to let certain chemicals and things get in, so you'll put a filter upon it. So that's what the blood-brain barrier is. Okay, within our head, it allows only certain things of a sizable amount to enter, within that blood-brain barrier. All right, and it says, most of the molecules of the substances used in chemotherapy are too large to pass through the blood-brain filter, which is why doctors say that chemotherapy doesn't work on brain cancer. Okay, the Most High has this all laid out, through the Spirit perfectly, man. Some of the smaller molecules get through, but not the whole suit of drugs intended. Doctors don't know for sure, but it seems that in order to cross the blood-brain barrier, only molecules less than 800 to 1,000 atomic mass units (AMU) and molecular weight can get through. Lipid solubility seems to be another factor which facilitates passing through the blood-brain barrier. Water-soluble molecules don't usually penetrate into brain tissue even when very small. The molecules of essential oils are not only small but lipid soluble as well. So the Lord has it to where certain things can't cross the blood-brain barrier, but dealing with these essential oils, they're that powerful that they can, and they're of a small enough fractional unit that they can pass through the blood-brain barrier to have an effect on your body just from you smelling the aroma of it, because it seeps into your system, and it crosses that brain-blood barrier, which it can get into your tissues and all of that, So the Most High has everything structured beautifully, Because what, this is the Most High's this is the Most High's movie, this is the Most High's program, man. Esau, they try to come with their different devices, but no matter what they do, they can never compare unto the works of YAHAWASHI. That's why I said how unsearchable are his ways and how unsearchable are his judgments. Esau can do whatever they want, but they can't touch the level of the Most High. Not ever, So, going on, it says, in fact, when it comes to essential oils, small molecules less than 500 AMU are what they are made of. This is why they are aromatic. The only way for something to be aromatic is for the molecules to be so small that they readily leap into the air so they can enter our noses and be detected as odor and smell. So that's what happens with the essential oils, when you put heat to them. The molecules are transformed, and they're so small that when they go into the air, they're able to pass through the blood-brain barrier to have, an effect upon us, So, and with these essential oils too, that's why they cost so much. Like, from brothers saying that, the small bottle that I had in the beginning of the video, that small bottle of Hyssop oil was $13. These essential oils are costly because they're effective and they're that strong, So, it's just like you can have like an ounce of like frankincense or myrrh oil, it can run you about $50, $60 just for an ounce of it, man. You know, that's why typically when you use these oils, you know, you would have a carrier oil with it to stretch it out. You know, but me, I just put a little bit and I just let it, you know, go through the air as is, and I just don't let it go for too long, you know. But going on, it says, this is why oils for cooking or massage, such as corn, peanuts, sesame seed, safflower, walnut, almond, canola, olive oil, and other oils pressed from seeds are not aromatic. Sure, they have a smell, but you can't smell them across the room in minutes as one can when you open a bottle of peppermint, hyssop, or cinnamon oil. Essential oils of every species cross the blood-brain barrier. You know, so every essential oil, you know, that's out there is able to cross that blood-brain barrier to have some type of effect on you. Like you have certain essential oils that are good for the nerves, certain essential oils that just clean the air, clean, you know, like cedar wood is good to clean the air. Eucalyptus oil, that's another great one, like to clean the air, you know, negative vibrations. Sage oil, you know, said to get rid of negative emotions, negative energy from around you. All of these essential oils, and especially the ones that are mentioned in the scriptures, they are top of the line, man. The Lord said, you know, in the book of Exodus, I'll post up the scriptures, Lord willing, that ye are royal people and a holy nation unto me. You know, so if we're royal and a holy nation, what we're supposed to have the finest of everything. So that's why the Lord used certain specific essential oils referenced in the scriptures as far as our different sacrificial laws, so on and so forth. Okay, this makes them uniquely able to address disease not only from a physical level, but from a more basic and fundamental level, that of the emotions, which are often the root cause of physical illness. Because what? You stressing out, you're going through different things, that breaks down your immune system, man, which causes different ailments within your body, which in turn affects your mind and affects your spirit, man. You know? So our spirit and our body go hand in hand. That's why the Lord trapped us in these chains of darkness. You know? And it said what? Since they affect you not only on a physical, but a more basic level, which affects your emotions, man. So the things that affect our physical body affects our spirit, you know, and likewise the things that affect our spirit, you know, have an effect on our body. Like when we're in tune with the scriptures, I always like to bring out, you know, from doing research a while back, that when our people, you know, they said so-called black people, and our people are reading the scriptures, our spiritual vibrations are at its highest frequencies than any other activity in which we do upon the face of the earth. Why is that? Because we are the children of the Lord. We are that royal people, that priestly nation unto the Most High. That's why our levels be at such a high frequency of vibration, which in turn creates life unto us, man, instead of death, man. What brings death unto us? All of this you know, negative music that's out here, you know, the vibrations of Esau, you know, that affect our mind in a negative way, that brings death into our body. You know, but the scriptures is truly life. The word is living, man, you know, through the spirit of YAHAWASHI. Okay? So going on, it says, a quick course in chemistry. I know this is a lot of reading, but, you know, Baba Gashah, you know, bear with me. I'm almost through this. All right, I'm trying to skip through this a little faster. It says, a quick course in chemistry. Because of the tiny molecular structure of the components of an essential oil, they are extremely concentrated. You know, that's why, like, you know, me and a brother, Yahawah, you know, in my camp, you know, we did a lesson on making your own toothpaste. And when you use like peppermint oils, different stuff in your toothpaste, you only have to use like 1 or 2 drops because it's that powerful, man. It's that powerful. All right, it says, 1 drop of essential oil contains approximately 40 million trillion molecules. Numerically, that is a 4 with 19 zeros after it. We have 100 trillion cells in our bodies, and that's a lot. 1 drop of essential oil contains enough molecules to cover every cell in our bodies with 40,000 molecules. And that's just 1 drop of essential oil, man. You know, 1 drop. Okay, it says, considering that's how powerful it is, man. You know, that's why it makes all perfect sense that it can have effect upon our physical bodies, you know, seeping into every different cell of our tissues, you know. Considering that it only takes one molecule of the right kind to open a receptor site and communicate with the DNA to alter cellular function, it only takes one drop to do all of this, to slowly but surely alter your DNA, okay, your cellular functions. It says you can see why even inhaling a small amount of oil vapor can have profound effects on the body. You know, like you have certain oils, you know, which bring a calming effect. You have certain oils which bring about a hyper effect, or, you know, brings, like sage oil brings, I like to use that a lot, because that brings clarity into the mind. You know, if you had a long day, you want to sit back, you know what I'm saying, you take a little, you know, break from things getting a little hectic on your mind, you know, just light up, you know, some sage oil, and it helps to bring clarity in your mind so you can think clear if your head is all cloudy, you know. Or you have the rosemary oil, you know, or the cedar wood oil, you know, which is good for studying. It could put you in a mood, in a zone to actually study, you know, and to get some work done, you know. So going back into this point, where was I? It said, yeah, you can see why even inhaling a small amount of oil vapor can have profound effects on the body, brain, and emotions, okay? Plays a part of your emotions, all right? Sometimes too many oil molecules overload the receptor sites and they freeze up without responding at all, when a smaller amount would have been just right. So a lot of people usually think using more would mean better benefits, but actually with these essential oil, less means more benefit unto you, okay? So it says, it says right here, sometimes less is better, sometimes more is better too. Knowing the difference is the art of aromatherapy. Essential oils are a mix of dozens, even hundreds of constituents, all of which are composed of carbon and hydrogen and sometimes oxygen. All essential oils are principally composed of a class of organic compounds built of isoprene units. An isoprene unit is a set of 5 connected carbon atoms with 8 hydrogen atoms attached. Their molecular weight is only 68 AMU, which is very small indeed. Molecules built of isoprene units are classified as terpenes. Terpenes are what make essential oils unique in the world of natural substances. Okay, so now it gets into three top things. It gets into phenylpropanoids, monoterpenes, and sequiterpenes. You know, so it's going to get into this. I'm not going to get too scientific, but it's going to give a brief breakdown in it. Now remember, in this one it has polypropanoids, monoterpenes, and sequiterpenes. But dealing with the hyssop, it has the ketones, okay, the monoterpenes and the sequiterpenes. Okay, so it says phenylpropanoids are compounds of carbon ring molecules incorporating one isoprene unit. They are also called hermitoprenes. There are dozens of variety of phenylpropanoids. Say they are found in clove, cassia, basil, cinnamon, oregano, anise, peppermint oil. While they can create conditions where unfriendly viruses and bacteria cannot live, the most important function performed by phenylpropanoids is that they clean receptor sites on the cells. And this is what the ketones do, okay? Without clean receptor sites, cells cannot communicate and the body malfunctions, resulting in sickness. So it has to clean a receptor site, you know, for things to be able to get in. Now, sequiterpenes, okay? Sequiterpene molecules deliver oxygen molecules to cells like hemoglobin does to blood. Sequiterpenes can also erase or deprogram miswritten codes in the DNA. So when negative thoughts, negative emotions get upon you, when Satan comes upon you, that acts, as I said, it alters your not only your mind, the way you think, but it alters functions within your body too. But it's a temporary thing. You know, that's why prayer and fasting is key, because when you pray and when you fast, and I taught this with various brothers, when you pray and when you fast, the next day, if you fast for a 24-hour period, the next day when you wake up, you feel refreshed. Your body, if you've been going through different things, you feel refreshed, man. This is why, because your body is cleansing itself, and through cleansing your body, you're cleansing your spirit, man. You know? So it says, Sequencer are thought to be specifically effective in fighting cancer because the root problem with a cancer cell is that it contains misinformation, which is not supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? It's cancer, what is an abnormal growth, you know, that's upon your cells, you know? So that's miswritten information that's not supposed to be there. So it says, and sequencer can erase that garbled information. So this is what the sequencer do. It erases that harmful information, you know, that disinformation that's upon your cells, basically. And that, at the same time, the oxygen carried by sequencer molecules creates an environment where cancer cells can't reproduce. Hence, sequencer deliver cancer cells a double punch, one that disables their coded misbehavior and a second that stops their growth. Okay? So that's what they got into. And I'm going to just end this article with this last points that's mentioned here. It says the triple whammy. Now they mention, as I said, they mention phenylpropanoids, sequencer and the monitor pains. But as I said, you know, the difference with the hyssop, they have the ketones. Okay, so I'm gonna go back real quick to mention what it says in the ketones, because here it says a triple whammy. So with the first of the triple whammy, it goes back what to the ketones, which is 48%, and the hyssop oil, which helps to detoxify, prepare receptor cells for the oils to be absorbed by the body. So in order for the oils to be absorbed in your body, to be absorbed in through your spirit, you know, the ketones help to detoxify those receptor cells so that other things can get in and do what needs to be done, basically. So it helps to prepare the way, you know, like John was there to prepare the way before YAHAWASHI, you know, so he can come in through the door and enter and, you know, do what he did for Israel, you know, basically what shed his blood and it cleaned Israel up, you know, going back into what the point of, you know, Exodus 12th chapter, you know, with the hyssop and then, you know, YAHAWASHI shedding his blood. That's all that cleansing process, you know. Okay, so it says the triple whammy said, first you clean the receptor sites, allowing the proper transfer of hormones, peptides, neurotransmitters, steroids, and other intracellular messengers. And that's what the ketones do. It says, secondly, you deprogram or erase the wrong information from cellular memory stored in the DNA. The sequencer take care of that. So those negative emotions and different things that what you feel, this is what the sequencer help to do. They help to deprogram all that miswritten information that's stuck upon your DNA, that abnormal growth, that type of cancer, because what negative emotions and all that, that's a cancer unto us. So this is what the sequencer do. They come in and they help to erase that abnormal information in which these evil spirits and the ways of this world tries to place upon us that rid us up out of the way of understanding. Okay? So this is a three-step process. And, you know, they have a saying, what, in order to build, you must destroy. You know, so this is what the sequencer do. You know, it's destroying all that misinformation so it can, your cells can be replenished and built back up into the proper state in which it's supposed to be. It says, third, you reprogram the cells with the correct information so they can function properly. The monitor do this. These three classes of chemical components are why essential oils can sometimes affect a healing that is nearly instant and also permanent. Okay? So this is what pretty much happened with King David. You know, it's all spiritual, but the things that affect the spirit affects the body. The things that have an effect on your body have an effect on your spirit. You know, the chains of darkness and the spirit, they're one, you know, so they're in tandem, basically. So one affects the other, you know. And, you know, by King David, you know, praying unto the Most High, you know, he was basically healed, you know, through those negative emotions and DNA within him, you know, these evil spirits. Okay, and it says, what they simply do is to restore the body back to its natural state of balance and health. And that's why this Day of Atonement is so important, because it has the ability, you know, through us praying and fasting unto the Most High, us abstaining from food and water, you know, this has the ability to bring us back into that whole state where YAHAWASHI is offering our bodies as a sacrifice upon this Day of Atonement, man. You know, and it helps to cleanse our mind of all these negative emotions, our spirit of these negative emotions. That's why it's good to have your mind clear, man. You know, and for us to put, you know, problems that we have with brothers to the side and all that, and forget all that, because if we want to be forgiven, we have to forgive as well, you know. So, and it says, while a specific oil may have one or two of these three classes of components as its predominant chemistry, all the biblical oils contain some of them all. This is one secret to their amazing healing abilities. This is why, you know, the oils in which the Most High used, as I repeated earlier, during the different sacrificial rites, you know, are so effective. And that's why the Most High accepted them, because they're the best of its kind, man. The best of its kind, you know, for different reasons, man. Yeah, so, you know, that's pretty much it. You have, you know, the ketones, which clean those receptor sites. You have the sequentipines that come in and destroy all that misinformation, and you have the manitropines, you know, which helps to reprogram that DNA back into its proper state, man. So, you know, for these specific reasons, this is why, you know, hyssop, you know, is so important, you know. But now we know, you know, with this Day of Atonement and YAHAWASHI being that covering for us, because he is the atonement, you know, for the elect and ultimately the whole nation of Israel. You know, we don't need these physical herbs and different things, you know, for that. But just getting into the example of doing this, you know, I wanted to get into the deeper spiritual meaning of, you know, purge me with hyssop, man. You know, so, you know, with that, you know, with this Day of Atonement, you know, brothers, you know, being in spirit, you know, Lord willing, you know, the Most High forgives us. And, you know, Lord willing, we have a seat upon that chariot. You know, Lord willing, we just make it through all this hell, you know, this RFID chip and all this, you know, different coming destruction that's upon this place, man. You know, so with that, I hope the segment was edifying. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to the elect out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity.